Okay. One is not up to the task at hand. There is too much to do. Help is needed. One must be courteous when one asks for it, and considerate of the efforts of others. A light in the darkness. One sees beyond the obstructions, progress in small matters. One has to set sail. There will be progress and delays. Much will depend on the wind. The ability to adjust and make small improvements furthers. So this was these two themes happening, and inside of this was a Scorpio theme, Pentan. So there was a lot of brooding energy, and he finally let it go. There were other things going on, which we've seen in the chart, but this just gives you the idea of the philosophy. His heart is going to shift into Virgo, the Virgo coming in, and so okay. There's one last thing I want to talk about. How we doing? Yeah, okay, we're a little bit longer, still another 5 minutes or so. Last thing, this is just, okay, before I get to this, just thinking back when he got married, and that was in the hexagram of inappropriateness, or before completion. When he got married, 3 months after he got married, the sun went into Virgo, went into the hexagram, rousing out of the abyss, and he wanted to get out of the abyss of the marriage, or out of the doubts, or he was attracted, he got it up, but he wasn't receptive. So then he had the affair within it, thinking that's going to get him out of it. It's not unsimilar to the last week's chart when we looked at Trump, who went through these same degrees, and he got himself elected as president. As soon as he got elected as president, as soon as he became president, there was all these controls and everything around him. How does he get out of the abyss? How does he find his freedom inside of it? So two different stories, same hexagrams, which was why I wanted to work on that today. You can get into any day or any week of a person's life and put all this time into it. It's just there's not time to do everything. You have to be selective of what you do. So we selected with Jung and Freud the time they were together and how they split up and what was going on, and seeing their life against that background. There's so many other areas that would have been interesting to do, that could be interesting to do, maybe at another time. Now, this is just showing from September 1912, after they split up. This just continues this up to 21. Okay, up to 21. So this is his dark years of facing negative psychosis and being the internment commander of the Swiss camp. These are all things going on during this time. I've highlighted the period where the First World, from 1914 to 1918, because that was going from 10 Virgo up to 14 Virgo. You know, this was like from the time of the 2nd July 1914, the beginning of going into World War I, and then till he finished writing his book on the 7 Sermons to the Dead when it was published. He wrote it during these times. So this was interesting because the beginning part, it switched the hexagrams at 12 degrees of Leo. So it went from Virgo with a Sag Taurus as he first went into the camp, as he was first in the first year in the camp. And then somewhere along there, he managed, like this is October 15th, so October 1915. So somewhere in this next few months, he managed to get himself out of there. Whether he got sick or he was getting neurotic or what was going, he managed to get himself out of that position in the middle of a war. Who knows? It'd be an interesting story to find more about that, how he got out of his position as commander of the internment camp. One would have thought the doctor would have been expected to stay there through the whole thing, and the doctor and commander of it wouldn't be quickly replaced unless he found a way of someone else could be better suited to do this, or he could convince somebody. Well, he could be very convincing, so maybe that's how it happened. But the hexagram sequence here goes from dispersion dissolution, which we just read, and went into the hexagram of the abysmal danger. And it was in the abysmal danger for the whole, from October 2015 until I would stay in there for 6 years. from being there till 21. So it goes through the lines of that hexagram. And so I'm not, without going into all the other deeper ones, which is detailed, there's no big extreme aspects during this time. It's just going through these degrees. But by the time it went into this 12 degrees, it went into this hexagram, the abysmal danger. I'm trying to rename these hexagrams, but astrologically, but this is called the abysmal water. I would probably call it discrimination or discretion would be the name I would give to it. It has the criticalness within, but it's trying to be discreet or discriminate what's within it. So the hexagram, the abyss above, the abyss below, water above and water below, critical without, critical within, danger of too much analysis. Without a change of attitude, it will be difficult to find good helpers. One will feel obliged to do everything oneself. This is the theme just coming through the end of the last part of his time at the internment camp. Health and hygiene, danger upon danger. Well, health and hygiene was the issue in these camps because people were taken out of their cities and they're just citizens. They weren't soldiers. They were just like we had the Japanese put up into capus casing and arrested in Canada or in the States and put in camps during the Second World War. It was the First World War, and all the countries were putting citizens of the other country into camps. And where they were not, there was still health issues and food issues and things going on. It was still a camp. It wasn't it was an internment camp. So health and hygiene, danger upon danger, discrimination over the corners of the mouth. Great care is needed over what goes in and what comes out of the mouth. Too much negativity can destroy. To be sparing in words is helpful. If you don't have something good to say, don't say it. Concentrate on self-improvement. Danger can be diminishing, but not by empowering it. Brooding will increase danger. Good food, good drink, simple exercise, or nothing. Set an example. Cleanliness is close to divine. So imagine having that theme to go through while you're running an internment camp, where it's exactly all those problems. Difficulties within, difficulties without. Powerful position, limited resources. Strong motivation, weak application. Power in one's inner depth accompanied by a lack of self-discipline. A position of authority with moderate support. If one does not keep busy, there will be trouble. If one does not keep others busy, there will be trouble. So much to do, so little time. You can see the hauntingness of being in that position. So I want to go to line 6 of this. Okay, here we go. This is one knows when to stop and when to let go. One does not bring problems home. Small blessings are counted. One will sleep well. Holding together with sincerity. Those who believe will stay. One who does not will leave. Aware of the danger, one stays in the background and helps from behind. A time of personal sacrifice. To claim or demand rewards will increase vulnerabilities. So he didn't really have a choice. Wasn't much possibility. He's got put in that position. There he is. This is a beginning of the abyss. So line 6, it was just the last half of 15 into 16 till October of 16. Okay, then I went into in 17. So in this time he was writing. I'm not sure how long it took, but the 7 Sermons to the Dead was published in 2017 when it got to line 5 probably. So we'll go to the next line. So the circumstances. Okay, so here we go. 9, surrounded by difficulties. One does the right thing. Energy is not wasted. No one is harmed. Someone is helped. Bad characters will be chased away. He always claimed he was trying to help people get some education or study things or learn some things while they were in the internment camp. That's what he was said later when he was defending himself for his position. Everyone has their story. Align with the common good. Understand the situation of others and you will know what's appropriate. In a position of authority, one must be firm in action and consistent in principles. It will take much effort to maintain the status quo. It would be wise to limit the amount of changes one sets in motion. So at the same time, there's limited to how much he could do. So this frustration, again, you have a Martian frustration. I'm there and I can't do anything, or I can't, what can I do to help? I have this position. So the judge was having me made, who stays, who goes, who doesn't, whatever. It's all within this. But in the midst of that, he wrote the 7 Sermons to the Dead. So probably from seeing his depression and his things and seeing all the people around him, must have seen a lot of people die. He transformed his transformation, or his alchemy of this was to put it, to write it out and to write out the 7 Sermons to the Dead. Well, that's about as far as I took it. But I did a lot more, but it's like to show, like we already gone 45 minutes longer. So, but it's just such an interesting chart, such interesting factors. He's such a fascinating person with the 2 sides of the seesaw, with his career and his establishment, his knowledgeable and the respect that he has, and his personal lifestyle, which was something different than that. And in the midst of that, we looked at his coming into meeting Freud. It was getting married, getting his degree, getting married. But the pattern within this is a parallel within this. With his wife, his whole life, she accepted his craziness and paid for it and paid for it. She brought up the kids, and she left him alone to have his affairs. Okay, so she accepted his Neptune stuff. Freud did not. He confronted it. He challenged it. He says, no, that's crazy. No, that doesn't fit in. That's not being rational. You're losing it, and attacked him on that case. And Freud didn't cater to it, didn't buy into it, and didn't accept Jung for his problems. Jung never ran across that. He had a lot of difficulty around it, but it was very formative, the acceptance and the non-accepting relationship. And what's deserving for the Leo and the Taurus moon, and challenging his Aquarius ascendant. Okay, so this is as far as it goes. Next, our last class is tomorrow, because I want to finish the session. That's before the solstice. So we'll be doing Freud's chart tomorrow night. And yeah, thanks. Okay, night.